Welcome to MelanatedMagikTV, and I am your host, Jessica X. Before I get started, I want to ask y'all a serious question. Did you hear about the South Carolina college student who was killed a few days ago? Not that one. I'm talking about this one. Not her. I'm talking about him. Did you hear about him? Did you hear what happened to him? He was murdered. I'm finna read an article that was sent to me. USC Upstate student from Columbia killed in shooting, coroner says. Spartanburg County, South Carolina. The death of a USC Upstate student found with gunshot wounds at an off-campus apartment has been ruled a homicide, according to officials. Evan Jeffrey Gaines, 22, died just before 11 p.m. Tuesday at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center, according to Spartanburg County Coroner Rusty Clevenger. Gaines, who was from Columbia, died of a gunshot wound, said Clevenger, who declined to say where the student was shot because investigative consideration. We will be working alongside the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office investigators and USC Upstate Police to determine more. Let me go back. UFC Upstate Police to determine more regarding this death, Clevenger said, adding that they are investigating Gaines' death as an homicide. The news media has this thing I love to call the missing white woman syndrome. That is when a white woman goes missing and every other news that is going on in the world is disregarded, and the white woman is put at the forefront. There's a reason we came up with the term Black Lives Matter. There was a reason that term was invented. Not to say any other lives matter less, but to bring our lives to the forefront. Unfortunately, Black Lives Matter was taken over. So now it is our job, meaning black media, to bring these lives to the forefront, to remind y'all that we are important, that our lives are just as important as your lives, meaning anybody who does not look like us. Just because we say our lives matter too does not mean we are disregarding your lives. We're just saying our lives matter too, and our kids matter, our elderly matter, everyone in our community matters too. So why haven't we heard what happened to Evan? I had to be sent this article. I haven't seen this on social media at all, besides his former professor mentioning it. And I only saw that when I was sent the initial article. It was linked to it. What happened to Evan? And why haven't we heard about it on the news? Everyone should be reporting on this. This young man was taken from his family. He was taken from us. And we haven't heard it on the news at all. But we keep hearing about the Samantha chick. Yes, it was unfortunate that she wasn't paying attention, looking at her Uber app to see who was the driver, the type of car, and the tag number. All of the drive sharing apps have that. So my next question would be, if she failed to look at any of that information, then was it truly a kidnapping? I don't want to really get into that on this video, but I have a few problems with that in a sense, because of the fact that it's been multiple times where people have tried to get in the car with me on accident. And I'm like, how do you try to get in the car with someone on accident? It's been a few times where someone actually got into my car. And all of which has been lily white people. I've even had incidents where my neighbors have walked into my house. Not here where I live now, but years before. And they were white. And they lived above me for months. So how could you accidentally walk into a wrong apartment, let alone get into a wrong car? I mean, I can understand a little bit maybe if you was drinking, but there was a time when I lived in Miami and I would drink. And when I would drink, I did not drive. Yes, we didn't drive. We called an Uber. And I had enough common sense to know, look at the app. And if I was not sure, I pushed the little call your driver button and call. But anyway, let's not get on that. Let's focus on Evan. What happened to Evan? What happened? I haven't even seen this on my local news. And I'm not too far from Columbia, South Carolina. Columbia and South Carolina and Augusta is maybe tops, depending on what part of Columbia that you're going to, 45 minutes to an hour tops. So I haven't even heard it on my local news station. This young man deserves justice. His family also deserves to know what happened to him. So we need to do our job and share his story. And when it seems like his local news isn't pushing it, we need to call Spartanburg Sheriff's Department and ask questions. Where are you with finding out what happened to Evan? We have to stay on top of this. To make sure that justice is served and someone is held accountable for taking Evan's life. I wish that this young man wasn't taken from his family and from the school, because from what I was reading, Evan wasn't a troublemaker. He was very quiet. He kept to himself. All he did was study. He kept to himself. He wasn't a troublemaker. He wasn't a thug. He wasn't a Pookie or Ray Ray. He was a black man, not a black male. There's a difference. I would like to add, we need to keep Evan's family in our prayers. They really need all the prayers that they can get at this moment. Even if you're not a praying person, you're a meditating person, meditate and think about his family and send positive energy their way, because they're going to need all of the positive energy and prayers right now. Just really think about this. I've had a family member who was murdered, and it's a different type of pain when a family member just dies versus being taken away, murdered. It's a different type of hurt. So they're going to need all of the prayers and positive energy that we can send. Well, this is going to conclude this episode of today's show. Please like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you share this story of Evan so that we can try to find out what happened to him. This is your host, Jessica X. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.